Hello and welcome to Technically Analytics. In today's episode, we're going to do something a little bit different. I had an idea that I was testing on Twitter and I figured I would try it out. I mean, I tried it out like halfway, but I didn't do like a full put through of it, so I figured I would do it. So we're going to do batting lineups based on base percentage. On base percentage is an interesting stat. You know, it just calculates the amount of times you get on base when you come up to bat. So we're going to look at a few teams that and see how their lineups look with the on base percentage, predicting where each player will hit in the lineup rather than just putting them where you think they should go, or by slugging, or however metric you use to put your batting lineups together. Some people just use like eye tests, some people use slugging, OPS plus, weighted or indicated plus, all those good things. And you know what, there's nothing wrong with making your batting order out of any of those things, and even on base percentage. I just thought it was an interesting kind of experiment to do because like you don't see it that often, and plus we're also going to look at the lineups afterwards of the real lineups, like what they're really predicted to be in the lineup, you know what I mean? So it'll be interesting to see if like, does the on-base percentage is it a really good indicator of what a lineup should be, or is it kind of stinky? Does it does not do it justice? Now, I went for a few different teams, 2 AL teams, 2 NL teams, and we'll see what it's gonna be like. I was testing this with my team, so we're gonna start with the New York Mets first, and the Mets batting lineup with on base percentage, which as you can see is listed right here in this row right here. This is the batting percentage. I know I didn't put the periods because it was weird about the .36 and it would cut the 0 off. So anyway, tangent. So yeah, we're gonna look at this lineup, and we're gonna start with leading off Juan Soto, batting percentage. On base percentage 419. So yeah, not surprising. He probably should bat near the top. Best player, best hitter on the team. So yeah. Next up, we have Jesse Winker, 360. You know what? I wasn't expecting this, and you'll see that he made quite a jump in the lineup. He's not hitting second in our lineup currently. Francisco Lindor, 344. He belongs there. He probably should be switched with Linker technically. He obviously deserves to be high up in the lineup. I think that's fair. Pete Alonso, 329, right where he's supposed to be in fourth. Brandon Nimmo, 327, right where he's usually at the top of the lineup, but I do like Nimmo in sixth, kind of great behind Pete, actually. Kind of love this lineup already. Mark Vientos, I like him in seventh. Jeff McNeil, Francisco Alvarez, Jose Siri. Okay, so overall, I do like this lineup. I don't think it's that bad. Winker's a little out of place, but overall, it's pretty much the lineup as you would see it. Anyway, you're going to see in a second, or in a few minutes. And then I did some bonus ones, like a bench player that would probably start in the lineup if they were actually doing it by on-base percentage, right? So Starling Marte, 327, he would slide in right where Brandon Nimmo is if Nimmo wasn't in the lineup, right? So pretty interesting, right? And they're both outfielders too. So yeah, pretty cool. And I do like this lineup. I think I would roll with it for sure. Like I would try it for a few games. Why not, right? Just for a few games, just for, for a month or whatever. Like I think it would be an interesting experiment to do. I don't think it would be I don't know. It wouldn't be too far off for the Mets. I also think if you have a good team, you're not going to roll out a bad lineup ever. It's going to be hard to, right? You can't go wrong unless you literally flip the order. You put Jose Siri first and you bat from the ninth spot to the first spot, right? Ninth bat first and then first bat's ninth. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's for the Mets. I do like this lineup. I would roll with it, actually. It's not the worst lineup I've ever seen. It's a little weird, but overall I don't mind it. And then moving on to the Texas Rangers, because I was talking about this with a Rangers fan, so shout out to him. But the Rangers have an interesting lineup too, with their additions, Jake Berger being the biggest one. So the Rangers lineup is pretty interesting. They got Jock Peterson leading off, 393 on base. Corey Seager batting second, 353. Wyatt Langford batting third, 325. Marcus Semien batting fourth, 308. I don't hate the top of that lineup. It's pretty damn good. And then batting fifth, we have Jake Berger, 301. I mean, him right in the middle of the lineup. I kind of like that. Kind of got the juice. Josh Jung, 298. Odilon Garcia, 284. Evan Carter, 272. Jonah Heim, 267. Honestly, this lineup kind of bangs. I won't lie. Like, it's kind of good. I mean, I think if you're a Rangers fan, you probably want Semien, like, maybe where Seager is, and Seager where Semien is. Maybe move Langford down a couple spots. But overall, I feel like this is not the worst lineup ever. And Jock Peterson would not hit leadoff. But, I mean, Jock Peterson, low-key on-base king, apparently. I didn't know. I actually didn't know. I mean, I know he's good for a couple of clutch homers, but, like, the guy gets on base. I mean, shout out to him. And then, kind of surprisingly, Garcia and Carter, but down at the bottom, although Carter's been kind of on and off, so I kind of get it. And Garcia, he strikes out too much, so I do also kind of get that. And the sleeper for the Rangers is actually Josh Smith. 337 would slot right in above Wyatt Langford. So yeah, that's that's a pretty good guy. They have a pretty good bench too, actually. Some good guys on the bench. So that's the Rangers. I do like their lineup. I think it's interesting. I think I would roll with it as well. Now the next team is the Boston Red Sox. The Red Sox on base percentage as a team actually is pretty high, I would say, and they're all fairly close together. Like it's only a 40-point swing from first to eighth, so you're really not you're kind of splitting hairs almost in this lineup. This team is going to be very good, I think, especially with the addition of Alex Bregman, which we'll get to him and what he's hitting. And then we have, an interesting bench player too. So we're going to start off, leading off, Rafael Devers, 354. I mean, best hitter on the team, obviously. Yeah, I like it. Masataka Yoshida, 349. Jarren Duran, 342. Trevor Story, 340. Tristan Casas, 337. Connor Wong, 333. Weiler Abreu, 322. Alex Bregman, 315. Sedan Rafaela, 274. So overall, I do like this lineup, actually. Now, this one had some surprises for me because I did not expect Alex Bregman to be at 315. Like, who would have saw that coming? Not me. I thought he had a better on-base percentage, to be fair. But, I mean, he does hit power, and he does strike out quite a bit, I would say, probably. So, yeah, that's a little surprising to me. But overall, I think I would roll with this lineup. I mean, Bregman being not eighth is kind of like, yeah, you really would want him fifth at lowest, I think. And I mean, Devers leading off, Yoshida, Duran. These guys are all monsters. Duran especially. Oh my goodness. Duran's underrated, actually. Can I just say that he's one of the most underrated players in the MLB right now? The guy is just insane. Like his offensive disruption plus score is higher than you would think, and that's saying something because that means that he just doesn't have there's power hitting and there's good hitting, but he disrupts the offense. He disrupts the defense like crazy. I mean it's crazy. Like he's really good. He's really good, and he's still very, very young too. So I do love this lineup overall. And the Red Sox bench player Rob Refsnyder, 359, higher than the starter, higher than the first batter. He would lead off if he was in the lineup. So that's pretty interesting. I mean, I don't know how that would work given that Devers is a third baseman and Refsnyder is an outfielder. But yeah, he would lead off. So I thought that was pretty hilarious. They have a pretty good bench too. And the next team we're going to do is another NL team, the Colorado Rockies. The Rockies are an interesting lineup. They have an interesting team. Not sure what to say about this one, but let me just read off the lineup for you. It's Jacob Stallings, 357, Ryan McMahon, 325, Chris Bryant, 323, Nolan Jones, 321, Bretton Doyle, 317, Michael Toglia, 311, Sam Hilliard, 305, Ezekiel Tovar, 295, Thairo Estrada, 247. And then, so this lineup, I was laughing because it seems like it's backwards. Like, the middle of the lineup is fine. Like, McMahon, Bryant, Jones, Doyle, fine. Totally fine with that. Totally okay with that lineup, with that kind of order. But then you have Jacob Stallings, the catcher, not known for his speed or anything like that. You know what I mean? Not known for his speed. Not really known for it. Not known for to be like a really great hitter either. But dude gets on base. Dude walks, I think. And then, you know, Tovar and Estrada. I mean, I don't love their placement at the bottom, but it does kind of make sense. Tovar is more of a defensive guy. Estrada also more of a defensive guy, not really known for his offensive power. And then Hilliard, like, yeah, he'd probably bat there anyway, right? And I mean, we'll see the Rockies lineup. It's pretty interesting. And then of course you have Kyle Farmer. He's gonna be the guy. They didn't have a great bench, so he would bat 8th, just above Thairo Estrada. Yeah, they didn't really have a great team under them. So let's go back to the Mets because we want to look at the actual projected batting lineups for each team. So the Mets batting line, you see this here. This is the lineup, right? Boom. And you can see that it's actually not bad. Like the lineup itself, like you have Lindor, Soto, Alonso, Nimmo, Ventos, Winker, Alvarez, McNeil, Siri. And then if you go here, you can see they're on base right here. This is last year's stats, obviously. So you have you have Siri batting kind of low last, and then you have these guys kind of batting like, at the end. It's kind of the same. Like the only one that's really out of place is Winker, and he's up here, and then Soto and Lindor switched, and Winker's in the middle of them, and everyone else is pretty much in the same order as it would be, which is kind of crazy. The Mets just kind of rolled this lineup anyway, and probably will roll something similar. I mean, they might switch Lindor and Nimmo, and like the top might change a little bit, but the bottom will be pretty much always the same, I think. And then you can see Starling Marte is down here. They don't have a great bench for this, but they do have Marte, and he could easily slide in for any of the outfielders, and it's like pretty good, right? Pretty decent, not bad. Let's do the next lineup, which is really the Rangers. So we'll go to the Rangers. So the Rangers lineup, it's not that far off. Like you can see, it's Peterson, Seager, Langford, Simeon, Berger, Jung, Garcia, Carter, Heim. So it's Simeon, Seager, right? Langford, Peterson's batting fourth. Garcia, Young, Carter, Berger, Heim. So it's not that far off. Like Peterson jumps up to first. Simeon switches down here to where Garcia is. And Berger jumps up to where Garcia is. So it's kind of like, it's not that far off, right? And then you can see their bench. They didn't really have like a lot of guys to pick from here. They had a few that are pretty good, like Ezekiel Duran, Leody Tavares. Like they could have slided in above, Evan Carter and Odolis Garcia, but like overall, I do like the lineup. It's not as good as this lineup. This lineup obviously stacks the better hitters, like in the power hitters, obviously Seager and Langford, Peterson. It all puts them right at the top, kind of in a better order than the on base percentage does. So I don't mind it. And then for the Red Sox, we have, look at this lineup. We have Devers, Yoshida, Duran, Story, Casas, Wong, Abreu, Bregman, Rafaela. So for the Red Sox, we're going to go here. And you can see we have Duran leading off, Devers, Bregman third. That's a big jump from, he was 8th in my lineup, my on-base lineup. Now he's 3rd. Let's get the on-base on here. And we have Tristan Casas, he was like down here, right? Yeah, he was fifth, I think. So he's pretty close, actually. Only one spot down. Yoshida is fifth in the regular lineup. Story's sixth. Abreu, Wong, Rafaela last. So yeah, the bottom of the lineup doesn't change all that much. Bregman at the bottom though, probably not realistic. Otherwise though, but I want to say one thing about the Red Sox though, right? Like their lineup is so deep. They have Trevor Story batting 6. Like just let that sink in for a minute, right? He's batting 6. Trevor Story, like he's one of the better hitting shortstops in the league. I mean, defensively he's also pretty good too, but like he's been injured and stuff, but one of the better hitting shortstops when he's healthy, and he's batting 6, and this is their lineup. Like, come on. And then you have Rob Refsnyder. They have a few good options actually. They have 3 guys with an on-base percentage of 300 on their bench. So the Red Sox are stacked. And then the Colorado Rockies, right? This is their lineup: Stallings, McMahon, Bryant, Jones, Doyle, Toglia, Hilliard, Tovar, Estrada. And we'll go up here to their other lineup, to their actual projected lineup. And this one's probably the most backwards because like it has Stallings first, right? And he's actually batting last in this lineup. And then we have, so it actually goes Doyle, Tovar, McMahon, Bryant, Toglia, Jones, Estrada, Hilliard, Stallings. So overall, like the middle of the lineup wasn't bad, kind of like the Red Sox. It's like not bad, or the Rangers too. Not bad on the middle, weird in the ends, right? Like weird, just weird. Like the guy that you would expect to be leading off is like not the guy you expect. You know what I mean? Because on-base percentage isn't necessarily about like hitting, because you can get on base by walking, hit by pitch. Hits obviously help too, but you don't have to. Max Muncy exists. The guy just gets hit and walks a bunch. So, I think the Rockies is like the most upside down lineup, and then here's Kyle Farmer. See, their bench is nothing to smile about, really. They have Greg Jones. Well, they had Greg Jones, but I was like, 6 at bats, 6 plate appearances for 333 that's not gonna count. Come on, that's a little ridiculous. But overall, though, I like Greg Jones, by the way. I'm not hating. I'm just saying he not enough at bats. All right, he needs to get like at least 100 games in before I consider him to be like a prominent bench, addition to this. But yeah, the Rockies, overall, theirs was the most upside down. I feel like it was the most mixed up. Although the middle is pretty accurate, like McMahon, Bryant, Jones, Doyle, Toglia. That's a pretty accurate lineup. So let me know what you thought about this. It's just an interesting little thought experiment about on-base percentage, and does it make a good lineup? Can anything just make a lineup? Should I do another stat that's like interesting or different to make a lineup? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe.